So I've got a bit of an apology to make. It's been 3 weeks since my last vlog, and I'm sorry about that. It's mainly because lockdown's eased a little bit and it's allowed me to start running tours again. So I've been really busy with tours, which is fantastic. Good for me, but not for you guys, so I'm sorry about that. I am here at the National Trust and I'm surrounded by these beautiful bluebells here, which is fantastic, but I'm not actually going to be shooting bluebells today. And you might be sitting there thinking, I thought this was a photography vlog. Why is he wearing mountain bike gear? Well, I'll tell you the reason for that. Just up the way here, just from the National Trust in Glencoe, there's a mountain, there's a little road track, and then there's a mountain that leads to Meal Moor. Now, Meal Moor is not a massive mountain at all, it's only 600 odd metres high, but the good thing with it is its location. It sits right at the bottom end of Glencoe, the other side of Loch Actreaton. And I'm hoping that's going to give me a great view all the way up through the centre of the glen. And that's the plan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mountain bike up on the forestry track, and that gets me most of the way. And then the last bit I'm going to sort of trek over the boggy land and then hopefully get this massive vista, which I'm really looking forward to getting. I've never been up here before, so this is new to me as it is to you guys. So fingers crossed we get a fantastic panoramic from the top. I've stopped here just because I've seen the view around the side and I thought I want to have a look at it, see if it's worth a photograph. It's not really grabbing me, if I'm being honest, mate. It's a bit flat and not quite what I'm looking for. But that does give me an opportunity to tell you what a momentous occasion this is, time for celebration. And that is because I finally, after all these years, made the giant leap to mirrorless. So I'm sporting this brand new Nikon Z7. Which is fantastic, and I'm really delighted with it. It really is well built, classic Nikon, good quality, things that are good for it. I'm just loving this articulated screen, which I didn't have on the 800, and it's touch screen as well, which makes life easier. And I think that's the way to go. I think for me as a landscape photographer, I'm quite often low down or on an angle that's not quite comfortable for me to get my optics in. So I am loving the fact that this live view can be visible even at low heights, so it works really well for that. The flip side is obviously the Z7. It comes with this F mount, which is a little bit too big for my regular lenses, so I need to convert that for my other lenses. So what I've done is you can get this FTZ mounted converter which sits on the lens, and that allows me to use all my old full frame lenses, Nikon lenses. So I'm quite delighted with that, because obviously I can't afford to go and buy the new camera and new lenses. It's a lot of expense, you know, you're talking thousands of pounds. So I'm quite pleased with that. The only downside, it's a bit bulky, and obviously the weight I've lost in getting a smaller camera has been added a little bit by having this big mount. And it don't quite fit my L bracket. So my problem is there is a screw for it on the actual converter, but I can't actually get my L bracket on my camera when the converter's on, which is a little bit of a pain. And you're only talking about 2mm. If they'd have gone back 2mm, it'd have fit on. So maybe a different L bracket, or yeah, hopefully a new lens. First maiden voyage, we'll see how we get on. I'm quite excited. I'm really liking it right now, but I'll tell you at the end of this video. So that there in front of me is the mast, and that sits over the village of Ballachulish, the other side of this hill, and then just sits at the bottom of Glencoe. You can see they've clear cut all this. It does leave a little bit of a mess, I'm afraid. A few years this will all grow over and it's not too bad. They leave it to keep these topsoil so it doesn't flush away, but it does leave a bit of a mess. And as I pan around, you'll see what the shot I'm trying to aim for. There is the path of Glencoe Photography, and then as I come on around, you'll see Glencoe itself, and it's absolutely looking amazing right now. But of course, I'm in the wrong place. I'm about an hour too late to get that lovely light over there. But this lovely Simpson sky might be all right. It might come and go, and I love that lovely textures. Can you see those? If I pan around to Scornafiane there, look. And you can see, because there's mixed cloud and clear sky, it really brings that mountain to life and gives those textures. And trying sort of, because we're looking at this in 2 dimensions, it gives that almost 3D effect, because it's giving those textures and it just comes to life. If I pan around to Meal Moor, which is where we're going to try and get to, look how flat that looks. There's no light on that at all, which worries me, because that's where the clouds are and that's where the sun is going to be behind me here, so I'm a bit nervous. I've got to climb all that, but I don't know how I'm going to climb that, because it looks a bit more than I thought it was, to be honest. I reckon I've underestimated this. I think I'm going to have a Mars bar to see if I can get me up the top of that. But there's the plan, is to try and get up the top there, and then we'll get this lovely vista down Glencoe. Let's see how we get on. So I've just got up to the top here, and this is the saddle in between the mast and Meal Moor here. So it's a great view behind me. Let me just spin you around and I'll show you what you've got. This is the lovely view there. So if I pull over there, that's Benvey, and then coming around you'll see there's the Ballachulish Bridge and Loch Leven going into Loch Linney, which is fantastic. And then here's the mast just behind me and the track. So what I'm going to head up now is I'm going to head up this track here, head onto that ridge up there, and then we're going to try and get on this ridge and come over the top and hopefully get some great light. Look at that light now, it's gone fantastic. It was flat a bit ago, but this light is coming out great. A little bit harsh here, so I'm a bit worried, but the thing is the wind's blowing so much that actually it's not too bad, and if the light does go pretty poor, I don't have to wait too long before it comes back again. So let's go and we're going to drop the mountain bike, hide it maybe, hopefully it don't get nicked, and then I'm going to head on up to the top of Meal Moor. So off with the helmet, on with the cap, up on the hiking boots, and let's get up to the top. Yes, I've come to a bit of a sticky problem here, and I was actually warned about this. I'll turn you around and you can have a look. Yeah, I see I've got this deer fence here running up here. And if I come on around, it runs off further down there. Now, somebody did tell me there was a sty here that I could get over, but I can't find it. So the question is, do I go left here and follow that way, or do I go further on up and hope there's a gap in the deer fence and there's a sty at the top there? I'm going to go up. Why not? Keep going up. There's no point going back down, is there? Well, I was right. Here is the gate, as I've been told. That's great news, because I really shouldn't be climbing over fences like this. It just damages the fences, so I definitely don't want to be doing that. But there is the gate. So then onwards and up to the ridge. So I've finally reached the top. That was a bit of a slog, it has to be said. And this is the top of them crags that I was talking about. And if I pan you around, yeah, it's okay. This ridge is okay. My problem is if I look a bit further down, the edge of Meal Moor is still a bit of a way there, and I'm getting interfered with what the shot I'm looking for, which is up the glen. The light in the glen is wonderful, and look at this view. This is fantastic. There's Bidian there, which is very rarely seen from the ground, and if you're driving through Glencoe, because it's usually hidden by Stob Corrinan Lochen, but there it is, fantastic, and the light is wonderful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head on a bit further down here and try and get to the lip of this. I'm hoping it's not going to be a false summit, because then there'll be another lip further down. So I'm hoping if I get there, I should get the full vista of Glencoe. Okay, well, I've found a little bit of a ledge. It was a little bit of a false peak, so I got to one ledge and then it was another ledge and then another. Anyway, we're here now and we are right on the edge. I'm sure if I jumped forward a few feet, I'd end up breaking my neck at least. And that's great. I'm perched on this edge here. There's Sgurna Fianne, there's the Pap. What a wonderful view. This is, I've got to say, I would go as far as to say this is the best view of Glencoe I reckon I've ever seen. It is just amazing. There's the Pap, there's Sgurna Fianne, there's the glen. Just look at that. There's it. Look, Actriaton, all the way up. There's the Anniceaga. And if you just look on the Anniceaga, just here is Anbodac. And my last vlog was from that, looking back to way. So you would have seen me in the last vlog. So that's Anbodac there. Go and watch that video. I'll pop the link in the description above. Great shot, and a great shot at the end there. But yeah, look at this is the business, isn't it? Look at that. There's Bidian, Stob Corrinan Lochen. Oh, and the light is just absolutely gorgeous. Coming down, this is Glen Lecnamui, which is easy for me to say, to be honest. But that is stunning. I'm really delighted with this shot. So I'm going to share with you a tip here, which I use quite often, which works well for me. If I'm doing a lot of photographs on big shoots like this, sometimes it's easy to get confused where you started sequence of events, be it a panoramic or a bracketed sequence. So because digital's cheap, it don't cost you anything, what I'll tend to do, and I'll flip you around, is I'll tend to get my camera here set up, and then I'll just take a shot of my hand at the start of the sequence. And then when I finish the sequence, I'll do a shot of my fist at the end of the sequence. And what that does is it allows me, when I'm going back all these photos, and say you've got 20, 30, if you're out on a big day or if you're out for a few days and you've got a lot of photographs, it does make life easier to know where the start and the end of the sequences are. So that's a good tip for you. It doesn't cost anything, digital's cheap, and it might help you when you're post-processing. So I'll talk you through the shot itself. I've got myself set up, and this is the 24-70 lens on here. So I am a little bit regretting it, because I would have liked the wide angle actually now I'm here. Maybe I'm just getting too greedy, because it's just so gorgeous everywhere you look, and probably I would have got everything in without having to do a pano. But I'm going to have to do a panoramic anyway, and I've done a couple of shots now. I've done one in portrait orientation, looking around this massive vista there, which is just beautiful. And then I've just tried one in landscape just to see. So I've taken 3 shots in landscape. I've taken about 6 or 7 shots in portrait orientation, just trying to avoid that sort of, you've got to get that 20% overlap with a photograph from the last photograph. So I'm back at the bike now, and that was a bit of a boggy trek down, but I think the location was fantastic. Definitely one of the best locations I've ever seen of Glencoe. Now if you like the video, give me a thumbs up, most appreciated. Comment below there if you like the panoramic. Let me know what your thoughts are. And if you really like the video, give me a thumbs up. It is an actual fact that most people watch videos on YouTube but don't actually subscribe, and subscribing really does help the channels. So by way of saying thank you for all the effort I've put in, please click on that subscribe button, and if you click on the notification bell, you won't miss another great content like this. All that's left for me to do now is the fun bit, downhill. Bye.